Tatsuki Fujimoto. What a man you are. What a man you are. And if anyone catches that reference, good on you. But I mean that in a positive way. Because this chapter, Chainsaw Man, Part 2, Chapter 2, or in numerical sense, Chainsaw Man Chapter 99, it continues to just fascinate me. It really continues to fascinate me. Because that first chapter was explosive. It was crazy to see what we got. Especially getting the perspective of Asa Mitaka and how that first chapter ends. You're kind of left thinking, okay, so then in chapter 2, are we gonna delve into Denji, or are we still gonna focus on Asa? And it's that I think is actually a really cool thing because in this chapter, which I'm gonna tackle the same way I tackled last week, where I'm going through the reread and I'm just sharing my thoughts. So we open up immediately, like I don't even know how much time has passed. It might just be like I think that morning by the looks of things, because you see Asa waking up, TV's on, Tokyo temperatures hit a high record today, a record high today. Be sure to take sufficient precautions against heat stroke even at home, and stay hydrated outside. Speaking of going outside, Chainsaw Man has yet to appear this week. Yeah, which, honestly speaking, as soon as I read that line of dialogue, when it's like, yeah, speaking of going outside, Chainsaw Man is yet to appear this week, which I don't know. Reading this chapter and, and looking at that line of dialogue now, I'm just like, Fujimoto, man, come, what is it's like? It's brilliant. Like again, I love that meta commentary. That meta commentary is actually really, really neat to see. But let me turn off my mail app so that way I don't have anything going off. But I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool. But you see how Asa's feeling, and she's out of it for sure, especially given from what happened. She looks at the window, sees her reflection, no scars. She thinks back to what happened. Like, was it all a dream? And then this happened. You see another Asa. You can kind of just say this is the War Devil because you see the scar, you see the markings on her face. So it's clearly the War Devil. And I'm just going to say right now, there were two vibes I got from this chapter. This kind of reminded me of like Yugi and a Tem from Yu-Gi-Oh! It kind of reminded me of that, where you have two different spirits inhabiting a body. It's kind of like that. Or if I want to be a bit more modern here, and let's make it a little more twisted, it's kind of like the Yuji and Sukuna effect. That's kind of what this represents. Because you have the War Devil saying, "This is no dream, girl," which again freaks out Asa. You have the chapter title called Two Birds, which that's actually pretty fitting. And the War Devil, it's the reaction's almost similar to Sukuna, I would say. It's not the same reaction, I would say, but like with the hand on her chin, like just observing Asa, and then she's looking at, you know, essentially her reflection, pinches her cheek, and the War Devil says, "This is your reality. Hurry up and accept it. Now go now." Eat now, eat and go to school. Disobey and I'll kill you. And you could just tell how freaked out Asa is. You could honestly just tell. And she's still trying to like just be like, no, no, this is a dream. But the war devil continues. I told you this is no dream, idiot. Face reality. Look at the news. Your teacher and class president both died yesterday. And we can see on the screen, 612, two people found dead. Obviously, the pedophile teacher, Tanaka, and then the class pres, who we found out was the Justice Devil. We killed them together. And then she remembers from yesterday from the night before. Excuse me, I I didn't kill anyone. You killed them. And as you can see, when she's trying to touch the war devil, nothing happens. Like she phases right through, or at least her hand does. And she says, "You can't touch me. Your brain is seeing me as a hallucination." A hallucination? What are you? You died yesterday. I am the war devil. I claimed your body. And poor Asa, man. Like, you see the sweat coming down her face. She's walking through town. If you took my body, how can I still move? I left half your brain intact. I'm unfamiliar with human society. This should keep from no. This should keep them from finding out I'm a devil at school. Why do you want to go to my school so badly? And the war devil just, lays it out flat and simple. Because Chainsaw Man's there. What? Check your pocket. A devil killed by chainsaw was found clutching that butt. If I checked into it and found out it's used for the school's uniform, that means Chainsaw Man is going to your school incognito. And honestly, that actually would make a lot of sense because not only is, well, Denji's popularity just based off the last chapter is off the charts right now. We still haven't seen him, by the way, but also got to keep this in mind too. He is raising Nayuta, and finding out about Nayuta that could lead to a few things. That could honestly just lead to a few things where you're kind of just like, I don't know necessarily, but you just gotta play the safe card. What's happening? She sees the double doors. On second thought, I I don't want to go in there. And the war devil says, if you don't, no, if you won't obey me, I can always take the rest of your brain. If I do, this time you'll really die. And again, she is observing her, sweat still coming down. See the classmates. I still, I still don't want to go to school. War devil, I'm not bluffing. You'll be dead and gone. And again, like coming up from the last chapter when Asa's walls were breaking down after what Buggy said. Like you already kind of got an idea of kind of how insecure she was and how jealous she is. But now you're seeing how nervous she's being because, you know, she's a host and if she doesn't play her cards right, she could very well get screwed over. That's just the simple and honest truth here in that respect. And the war devil says, "Do you hear me, girl? You'll die. I I'd rather die than go in there." And she's like, "Ugh, what a pain." And then someone's walking by. You okay there? And now here's the thing. As soon as I saw this guy, I was like, yo. I was like, wait a second. Is that Yoshida? And when I looked more closely and just saw the hair and everything, I was like, yo, that's fucking Yoshida. Oh my god. Like, I was like, there's a familiar face we know all too well. Mr. Hirofumi Yoshida. So, my theory based on the Chainsaw Man discussion stream I did, where I said through Asa we might get reintroduced to like other characters, and it seems like that's what we're getting here with this chapter. Because Yoshida's there, he's got that smile on his face, and Asa's still, just super concerned about her well-being. Want me to walk you to the nurse's office? I'm okay. No problems here. And the War Devil just says, "Girl, ask if he knows Chainsaw Man's secret identity." And she's like, "Will you shut up for a second?" Which throws Yoshida off, like, "Huh? Oh, I wasn't talking to you." And that's when the War Devil was like, "Fine, I'll just take them out. I'll ask him." And she's like, "Huh?" And right when that happens, you see the War Devil kind of like phasing into Asa, and the scars start to appear on her eyes. Hey, boy, do you know anything about Chainsaw Man going to the school? Huh? Those scars. M- my body. And so now essentially Asa and the War Devil have kind of like traded spots for well. Like I said, it's very reminiscent to um Yugi and a Tim, a more twisted version of that. Maybe I would even say Bakura and, you know, Evil Bakura. If I want to go to another extent here, you could make the claim that this could be a Kaneki situation with Heize. Because if anyone remembers Toguri, especially early Re, oh my god, it's similar to that. But I think many people would look at this and just say, "Yo, this is essentially Sukuna and Yuji." But you see this, and then Yoshida just says, "I heard that was a rumor, but I just transferred here, so I don't know much else." And I love the paneling that Fujimoto does here because you don't see his eyes. He uses the bangs to kind of like cover up like how his eyes are. So to me, that's kind of showcasing that he's being a bit precautious. Like, why would she ask me something like that? Only that Chainsaw Man might be in the Devil Hunter Club or something, which again catches her attention. And as soon as that happens, she walks over a little closer to Yoshida and she says, "Hey, boy, shall I make you my boyfriend?" And oh my god, dude, Asa's reaction. Uh, and he's like, "No, no, no, I'm good. Not really interested in that. Bye." Which second that happens, her and Asa trade spots again, and she's like, "Why'd you ask him out?" And like I said, she is very straight to the point here when she says, "I have the power to turn what's mine into weapons. If that boy fell for me, it would make him mine, no? I could turn him into a weapon then." And when you get that sentence by itself, when you think of Denji, I mean, I, I'm still waiting for that. That interaction is going to be pretty priceless when it does happen, especially when it comes to the War Devil too. But my thing is, we don't even know how Denji's gonna be right now. after the events of, you know, part one. Because, like I said, when part one ends, he is given Nayuta and he has to raise her. So I do expect Denji to have some level of growth when it comes to the story, but I'll get more into that once I'm done with this recap. I want to turn as many humans into weapons as I can to go to war with Chainsaw Man. And then you see that, you see more students passing by, you see Asa's grip loosening, turning humans into weapons. Go to war with Chainsaw Man. And then she, you know, crunches her hand back up into a fist. Huh. Uh, wait a sec. Hold up. I'm involved with some serious stuff right now, aren't I? This devil murdered my teacher and the class president. I mean, a war devil is bad enough. Bad enough is bad news, right? The scarier a devil's name, the stronger the devil is, or the stronger it is. Either way, official translations say the stronger it is. Can I even turn back into a normal person to begin with? Sooner or later, won't this devil take over my body for good? I, and then she's just thinking like, I have to talk to a devil hunter. Second that happens, War Devil just says, "Spill the beans about me to anyone in your den, like just straight up, no chill. Like you can't do this. No, no, you can't hide your thoughts from me. I am you. You finally understand your situation. Good. We're going to join the Devil Hunter Club to find Chainsaw Man. If we can beat Chainsaw Man, I'll return your body. I trust you'll cooperate." It's almost in a way like emotional blackmail. It really is. Because you just see that smug look off of the War Devil's face. And very cautiously, Asa says, I'll, I'll help you. So you'd better give back my body. And see the birds flying by, see the students. First year students, thanks for coming. This club only accepts those strong enough to fight devils. You will patrol the city for devils in groups of 3. You have 1 week to bring back a dead devil. Do that and you're in. Oh yeah. It also says welcome to the Devil Hunter Club tryouts. So essentially this is the club, if you will, which I think is kind of interesting given where we were in Chainsaw Man and then now getting this. To keep things fair, we'll be choosing your group members as we see fit. You, and you. You're a team. Good luck. And then, interestingly enough, Yoshida's there. He says, "Hey," and then you see this one chick, with glasses. Don't really know her name. I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get something here in the following chapter. Nice to meet you, partners. And oh my god, again, Asa, I feel super bad for. Like y'all have no idea. Like seeing this girl right now, and just seeing how tensed up she's feeling, like just gripping onto her hand. It's like, oh man, like, this has to work. This just has to work. I need to take a grip and control myself. That's all I need to do. And that's kind of where we end off. Like chapter wise and everything. That's it. Which, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, because this is chapter 99, and the next chapter that comes out next week is going to be chapter 100. I wonder if Fujimoto is going to save the Denji reveal for the end of next chapter. I feel like that's what we could get. If not Denji, maybe what could happen, like probably what we're going to get is the stuff regarding the tryouts, see what Asa's gonna do, what Yoshida's gonna do, kind of get a little bit into what this other character's like. Will this other character survive? I have no idea because, well, if we're going based off of part one, is chances of survival are slim. I mean, we barely had any survivors coming out from the end of part one, so it's one of those things where I'm like, let's not get too attached to the characters, if that makes any sense. Having said that, though, I really like the direction Fujimoto is going with so far with these few chapters because now we all would assume that Mitaka was going to play the role of the antagonist here for this part of the story. However, now that we got this chapter, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case because if we're seeing this and knowing that it's from her perspective so far within these two chapters, I think to me this solidifies that she's going to be not only a protagonist of the story so far, or at the very least, if not the protagonist, the deuteragonist or antihero. I would definitely say that because we do see Asa and the War Devil. Their thinking is very different. Like, yeah, Asa had a certain viewpoint on how she saw things in the first chapter, and then, like I said, Bucky came in and just said, "Yo, girl, just open up." And now we're seeing just how tensed up she is right now. Like within these two chapters, we're getting to learn more and more about Asa. At the same time, we're gonna see this as kind of like her inner turmoil is dealing with the War Devil, and that direction I think is really fascinating. It's really cool seeing Yoshida again too, and I know some people are gonna be like, "Wait, we didn't get Denji again this week." Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, not seeing Denji, it's a bit of a nitpick. I'm not going to say it's like, oh man, Denji not being in this chapter is gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna say that because, like I said, I feel like with what we've gotten so far within these two chapters, we're gonna slowly get reintroduced to all these characters again. I mean, just look at this chapter right now. Chapter one was all on Asa. I know it's still on Asa, by the way, but we're slowly reintroducing ourselves to these characters again. Like with this chapter, we just got reintroduced to Yoshida. So, chapter three, there's two possibilities I could see. Either, like I said, we end off the chapter with Denji, or full protection here. Could be Nayuta. Could be Nayuta or Kobeni. Yeah, no, because Kobeni's still a mystery in and of itself too. Like Kobeni was honestly one of the more fascinating characters in Chainsaw Man. I mean, I'm still sitting here going like, she's left alive for a reason, and I think Fujimoto's gonna delve into that with part two. And yeah, I know some people are probably gonna say we didn't really go through much progression in the chapter, as in terms of story. Which, yeah, you could kind of say that's a bit of a downside to the chapter, but the argument could be made is we got to see this uh conflict, if you will, between Asa and the War Devil, how they think, and kind of like what they have to do to compromise. It's not that Asa wants to take out the Chainsaw Devil. It's just that she has to if she wants to regain her body back. That's all that's going on. It's not like she has any personal beefs with the Chainsaw Man. She, I, if we're basing it off from this chapter, we know, but prior to what happened to her at the end of chapter one, that yes, she wasn't exactly super fond of the devil and things that could be eradicated. But it's like I've been saying throughout this entire stream. She's a host right now, and she's in a situation where any wrong decision she makes, the War Devil could just say, "Okay, you're gone." Like that's quite frankly the situation we're in with Asa, and I'm really curious. I am honestly really curious, and I'm super excited to see where we go with part two. Overall, when it comes to the chapter, not getting much on story progression is one thing, but the big highlight of the chapter would be the War Devil and Asa. That's the big highlight of the chapter. And just on that alone, I'll go ahead and give it an amazing plus. It's an amazing plus chapter, Chainsaw Man. Arguably, you could say it's a pure perfection chapter, which is super rare for me to give. Two chapters back to back, pure perfection. That's honestly really never happened before. But if I'm to nitpick it to a lesser degree, I'll say amazing plus. And that's pretty much all I gotta say when it comes to this chapter of Chainsaw Man. How do you guys feel about part two so far? How do you feel about the second chapter? Are y'all still feeling sad we haven't seen Denji yet, or do you feel like not seeing Denji is gonna lead to a more bigger reveal for him when he does show up in the chapter? And how do y'all feel about Asa Mitaka so far? And how do you feel about this clash between her and the War Devil? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. And aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Lukachi7. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Chainsaw Man. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.